Today's video, we go to Lake Austin, right by the 360 bridge. It is December and the weather's starting to get cold, so we decided to come out here to see if we can fish right there off the bank, through some boat docks. I decided to go with the Texas rig, and I used the ribbon tail worm just so that it can have some spin in the end, so I can attract the fish. It was a fairly good day. I didn't catch anything fairly big, but I did catch quite a bit. So here it is, guys. I hope you like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks. Obviously, as you can see, I didn't have the camera rolling when I caught this fish, so I had a hooks at the fish, make sure I caught him, and then I turned the camera on, so I was a little bit late. But as you can see, where I'm fishing at right here, exactly like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm targeting towards these banks because it's more shallow there. When the weather gets cold and it starts getting cold, the fish can do one or two things. They're either gonna push up shallow and gravitate towards some rocks or areas where it's just shallow, or they're gonna go down deep. And so what I was doing, because the weather was just doing that, I was hoping that they'd be shallow, maybe chasing some bait, be hungry enough to try to fill up those bellies so those bellies be hot. So again, this is my intention. I'm gonna go down this line right here. I'm gonna fish towards this bank, and there's a couple of boat docks that end up coming up. So all I'm doing is just fishing around there, and I'm fishing it slow because I'm using a worm, so the slow ride just to make it finesse a little bit. But here's the video, and I hope you enjoy. One of the things that I was doing here is that when I'm targeting the bank, the reason why I'm targeting all this bank is because right along the bank, there's a whole bunch of rocks right there. And so, since the weather's being cold, I'm tending to throw towards that bank because I know there's rocks, and then I'm slowly working it towards myself. Mind on this particular day, there wasn't a bunch of big fish that was caught. They were all kind of small in the 1 to 2 pound range. But nevertheless, it was a pretty good day. I don't know if you could tell, but as you could tell, it's cloudy this day. It's real gray. The sky is gray. There's not a whole bunch of sun sticking out. So on this particular day, I used a 9-inch plum worm just so they could see it when it's in the water. Um, the little tail action does really good because when it hits the bottom, it was stationary because it has that long ribbon tail. That ribbon tail would tend to just to float and move side to side on that water to try to entice that fish to bite it. So today was the plum was the choice of color, and it worked out pretty good. Um, Again, all I'm doing is fishing this bank, man. I'm going on this whole side right here where you see these boat docks. And I'm just taking my time and cast after cast, just reeling it slow to see if I get a bite. And it worked out pretty good. What's funny about this bite is that, as you can see when I hook set my reel with all type of ways, my rod, and look how little this fish was. I couldn't believe that the bite or the hook set was that intense, and the fish was only this big. It definitely tricked me there for a minute. everything that I was noticing when I was fishing or when I fished this area is that sometimes I would get backlash, right? And as I took time, like I'm doing right now, to fix my backlash, right, I noticed that every time I did have a backlash, that almost just about every time I had a bite. And so, in my mind, what that's telling me is that I needed to slow down, right? I needed to cast it, let it drop, let it sit there for a little bit, and then reel, as opposed to just letting it, casting, drop, reeling right fast or right away. You know what I mean? And so when I noticed that every time I was casting, I was getting a backlash. That 8 times out of 10, I would already have a fish on there. So in my mind, it's like, all right, you need to slow down, take your time, finesse it, work a little bit, bring it back towards you, and see if you can get you a bite. And that's what I started doing afterwards, and it turned out to be pretty successful. So on, guys.
No one here. Oh, you are.